Hello again, everyone. We're Bill Swan and Emma Black. Thanks for the positive comments about our discussions of the challenges of having a loving marriage between an atheist and a spouse of faith.
You said that good. We've discovered that for some couples, this turned out to be easier than for others. Things kind of fell into place for a few lucky couples, and they've been together and they're still crazy in love for a long time.
For some families, this kind of encouragement and hope came too late. Their relationship didn't last through their irreconcilable differences. And that's too bad, but for some, accepting their partner being so different is a bridge too far. And as a friend in the same situation said about dealing with one partner losing faith, it may reveal an already anemic relationship. Some relationships are not strong enough to weather this storm.
Well, we believe in rainbows if you can hold on tight to each other through the storm. We feel that the most important thing in any relationship is to work together and focus on the things that you agree on and enjoy doing together.
Then give your partner respect and space to do the things that are special for them.
Keeping in mind that it's still two individual people who are creating a marriage. And we know we won't have the answers for everyone.
Please understand that we are not representing ourselves as professionally trained or licensed therapists. Far from it, we've just actually lived through it.
Yes. We want to open our hearts to other couples who are hoping they can make it work when they have a schism in their beliefs. As long as we can do our videos, we're planning to share our struggles, warts and all, and we welcome other couples' input who have a similar situation.
And we hope to add some fun things, too. Each partner deserves respect and to feel an intimate connection and unconditional love from their chosen mate.
We think there are keys to achieving a harmonious marriage. We can't be fighting or just orbiting around each other all the time. It sounds so simplistic, but we've agreed that communication is the first key to resolving misunderstandings, preventing hurt feelings, and deepening that love that you felt when you said, "I do," or maybe just still, "Yes!"
Kindness is also a key. Being gentle and caring should be natural when you're talking to your life partner. Who else is more important to you? Except maybe your horse. Who should you be more kind to? Just kidding.
I know, baby. Another key is understanding where your partner is coming from. And that takes thoughtful efforts to put yourself in another person's shoes.
Respect encompasses most of these elements. It's probably easier to recognize disrespect, but listening to your partner and being aware of how and what you're communicating every day is the starting point for showing respect.
And tolerance is a key. Since there is no way to be absolutely certain we are perfectly correct and everyone else in the world is wrong, we need to be able to express our concerns in a caring way and then do our own devotions and allow our brothers and sisters to come to their own conclusions. Everyone is responsible for their own choices.
So for today, we want to talk about some communication do's and don'ts. You may have heard these before, so they may be just a reinforcement, but if any of these concepts are new for you, we'll share some resources so you can get more information and insight later.
Basically, things to do every day to nourish a joyful relationship, like divorce-proofing your marriage.
Exactly. First, share with each other what you've been doing. You'll figure out how much time and detail to devote to that, but you probably promised each other to be honest and not have secrets from each other, so letting your partner know what you've been through each day will help keep you on track.
And share your future plans. What's going on this week? Are we working on something together? Or are we supporting each other in different interests?
You'll also want to come to an agreement that goes, for both of you, that goes something like this. Just because I'm saying that I can understand why you might believe that way does not mean that I'm changing my beliefs. So please don't take it that way. And that goes both ways.
Yes, I understand that now. Also, don't neglect kisses and hugs and saying I love you frequently. Even if they start to seem perfunctory or routine, these little things are very important. Make the effort to greet your spouse when they get home and when they leave for work. And make sure you allow time for intimacy. If you have to plan it on the calendar or give him an upcoming time suggestion, Tuesday night. That's fine. But please don't neglect each other in the bedroom.
Do something kind for your partner in a way that means the most to them. Different things may make each person feel loved. For some, it's affectionate touch. For others, it may be when you tell them how wonderful, smart, and creative and beautiful they are.
Some people feel your love when you stop what you're doing to give them your undivided attention. Some others are excited when you give them the gift of a favor or a little trinket that shows they're always in your thoughts. We really appreciate the insights from The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman.
Emma was really excited to share this with me. The author has a free test online to find out your love language if you're interested. He suggests ways to learn to speak your partner's love language if you aren't already automatically doing that.
It was kind of fun to see that our love languages are very similar, which we sort of knew since we were able to communicate our love throughout all the years before we heard about the book. We knew other couples who thought they were expressing their love, but they didn't know how to say, I love you in their partner's different language.
Я люблю тебя, солнышко.
I love you too, but that's not the kind of language that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you know, having the romantic evening, classic romantic evening with a sweet talk, a nice dinner, maybe some dancing and a gift of flowers or candy, sweets, covers so many different ways to speak love, positive words, time together, gifts, and physical touch. When we're dating, we speak to our partner's heart without breaking down the details. After we've been together for a while, we may need someone to remind us of how to better focus our efforts to send the most meaningful love signals.
Aha! And you do a really good job, since you've learned that what I want most is time together. And that it really hurts my feelings when you're listening to music with earbuds instead of talking to me on a car trip. Just showing love and respect every day should become second nature. And we've gotten off course.
Right. What else was important?
Well, managing conflicts.
Oh, yes. Stop and think before speaking. Avoid accusatory statements or inflammatory comments. Explain what's bothering you with I statements or questions. And be careful with your tone of voice.
Offer suggestions for solutions instead of just complaining, and be open to your partner's ideas.
If the subject you need to discuss is one with a long-lasting or high-cost impact, plan on taking the time to do a sit-down discussion. You probably know each other well enough to know whether the topic needs your full attention and if it's probably going to be easy or difficult.
Well, and then you'll want to preface a delicate discussion with, there's something I want to talk about, when would be a good time? And you can tell them the category, like it's a church or atheist thing, or it's a kid or money thing.
Oh, that's so your partner won't worry about the big issues all about.
We offer the following suggestions to set up a successful sit-down whenever possible.
Choose a time when there's less of a chance of interruptions. You don't want to feel rushed. Starting 10 minutes before one of you has to leave for work is not a good time.
No. Choose a place where you're both comfortable and will have minimal distractions.
Make sure you're not hungry or thirsty. Grab a snack if you need to so you can avoid that distraction.
Neither partner should be overtired. It's a challenge when one works days and the other works night shifts, but you can tell when your love has a low battery. That is not the time for a heavy-duty discussion.
Neither one of you should be under the influence of alcohol or strong medications, or in pain if that's avoidable.
Right. This is one of my favorites. Hold hands so you can establish a connection right when you start talking. This sends the message that you are connected, and additionally, it will give you subtle clues during the conversation. You can feel a slight pulling away or flinching, and give reassuring squeezes as you talk.
Remind each other at the beginning and again if you need that you can work through this together or find a solution that will be okay for each one of you. We're going for the win-win scenario, so be positive.
Okay. Use a respectful tone of voice and language. Avoid raising your voice or blaming or accusing your partner, especially of past transgressions. It serves no useful purpose.
Also, don't interrupt. But even with that,
What do you mean?
while they're talking is not the time to plan your rebuttal. You should be paying attention, close attention to what your sweetheart is saying. Don't give in to this temptation. And don't even assume that you know what they're going to say. Try to listen carefully with an open mind instead of planning what you want to say next.
Right. Guilty. Ask clarifying questions and rephrase what you think you're hearing from them to be sure you have understanding. And if one of you seems to be taking the discussion the wrong way, try to remember that you're not trying to hurt each other. That's accidental. And you cannot read each other's minds. That would be supernatural.
You may have a great idea, but don't just present it as a done deal. Trust your partner to present their concerns. It isn't a competition, and don't think they're trying to be difficult. Just put all the different points of view on the table. Saying, I didn't think of that now is much better than hearing that something's gone wrong later.
I like that. If you get to the point where you feel like you're not getting anywhere, it's okay to stop talking. Maybe you have your own code words for, we need to take a break, without sounding snippy like, I just can't deal with this right now.
You might ask, would it be okay if I take some time to think about that?
I like that. Okay. Moving forward is difficult when we're in conflict. Sometimes it's just not a good time to discuss things. So you want to be able to say that to each other, to be allowed to call a ceasefire and agree to take up the issue when you both have had time to calm down.
Now, if she's being unreasonable or childish or emotional, well, it's not forever. She'll get over it more quickly if we can stay calm. Stay calm. So I want to think of all her positive qualities in order to focus on how much she means to me. And this trick can fill you up with the loving feelings you need to be able to get through the situation. Stay calm.
All right, but I want to add, protect your partner from the rest of the world. He or she needs to be able to count on you to be loyal if others are criticizing him or her.
The atheist partner can focus on happy memories and their positive qualities, while the believer may just say, they're counting their blessings.
I'm counting my blessings. You know, if we entered our information into a dating site, they probably would never set us up together.
I have no doubt.
It may seem true that opposites attract, but just the chances of staying together and close to each other are better when you have a lot in common. Find your common ground.
Right. Do we have a little time to do a little more discussion on communication techniques? Because I wanted to get more into I statements.
I want to discuss I statements and sandwiching criticism between compliments and some of those other effective communication techniques. Especially like avoiding accusatory comments like, you don't care if I get any sleep.
Sure, because I don't know why you're being such a dick is not an I statement.
No, it's not. Everybody knows that.
Well, that's another thing we wanted to avoid. Absolutes.
Right.
Because life changes every day. Saying always or never or no one or everybody,
yeah.
It just makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Maybe we can do some scenarios in another episode to demonstrate the techniques that we've learned.
Yeah. We know most couples will have to compromise. We haven't met the couple yet that's in perfect harmony. But remember, we're not trying to change our partners to fit what we want.
What is it we are working for? Why are we choosing to get together and stay together?
Every couple has to work that out for themselves.
What do you want to do with each day? Because the way we spend our day is what our life is going to be all about.
Right. Every couple is different. So differences in religion and the religious views shouldn't make it impossible. We have to recognize each other's boundaries and be introspective enough to say that what we personally can handle and tolerate.
Okay. Well, but like when you're young and just starting to date, you may not know what your deal breakers are. Or you may think, I'll never be able to tolerate that until someone you love presents you with the dilemma. Love may overcome a situation you thought you'd never be able to deal with.
You may have been through a few relationships and you know what your deal breakers are. An abusive past relationship may not be forgivable and forgettable, but for your emotional and mental health, You may need to just let it go. This subject is worthy of a discussion all by itself.
I agree. But we also need to say that if a problem persists, that it has any element of addiction or mental illness, we're going to urge you to seek professional evaluation and help right away, because these issues are usually much bigger than a spouse can manage alone. Bring in a doctor or therapist before you've reached the point of no return.
Absolutely. Here's another big thing. This is a good one. No ultimatums. If Emma says no sex until I go to church, we're not going to get very far.
If Bill tells the kids in private how ridiculous Mom's beliefs are and likens them to fairy tales or jokes, there's going to be trouble. Please don't make fun of things that are sacred to your partner.
In the same vein, if she tells the kids that their dad is evil and going to burn in hell and they won't be with him in heaven, that could really screw them up. You'll need to figure that out.
There are just certain behaviors in any relationship that can't be allowed. It's called hitting below the belt.
Yeah.
Especially with religious belief differences, we want you to be extra sensitive when talking about such core values.
Just because someone doesn't agree with you 100% of the time doesn't mean that you get to mock or ridicule them. Since you can't be in agreement with anyone all the time, I think you'd be a very lonely person.
Yeah.
If I feel strongly about an issue, I can try to share my point of view respectfully and in private. I don't need to undermine her.
Right. There's so much to cover on this subject. Let's see. We want to say keep it simple. Embrace the differences and expect the challenges. Keep an eye on the goal. I have an idea for an episode to help my fellow believers to hold on to their faith and their practices without feeling sorry for your non-believer or wasting time worrying about their status with the Lord. You can be strong without being obnoxious.
You know, you might need to bite your tongue sometimes. Think before you speak. Be aware of your body language. You know, I always hear, "What are you saying about?" I guess I have to work on that.
Okay, thank you. Don't just say to them, "That won't work." Try, "I'm not sure it will go the way you think it will." Or, "Can we think of some of the challenges with that plan? If we can imagine some of the possible complications, we can plan how to prevent or handle them ahead of time."
Instead of throwing cold water on it, looking at both points of view gives you a better chance of success.
Instead of accusing your partner with, "You always get what you want," try, "Are we both getting a good deal?"
Or, instead of getting angry, "Are you listening to me?" Try, "Are we both being heard here?"
I think so. Treat your spouse with the same consideration you treat other people, strangers, who don't mean nearly as much to you as he or she does.
I know. Sometimes we're more polite to others and then let down our guard when we get home with our family, when we need to treat them with the most love and respect.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if our viewers can take some of the things that we've said and share them with the one they love and ask, "Hey, what do you think about that?"
As always, your views are welcome in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more from us.
We have lots of ideas on paper still.
You do?
We do.
Okay. I can hope you can tell, but she is the most important person in the world to me.
And you're the most important person in the world to me. And so we're going to just do our best to make every day the best it can be.